Bachelor's Way, making secondhand chic.
Hi, it's Ronda Batchelor here from Bachelor's Way. Okay, today I just wanted to have a chat with you about some of the details and the things we're doing because it's kind of hard to show you everything while we're working because it's hours and hours of boring stuff. So I'm just going to go kind of around the room in the basement where we're at right now and kind of just talk about some of the issues and the things that we had and how we had to solve it. Okay, so this piece was a bear. It started out looking like this. Okay, and this thing was made like super well. So when we had to cut off the crown molding, it was incredibly hard. It was like, you can see right here. So you can see the two layers. They were like glued together solid, and this was one lump and then this was the other lump of the crown molding. Let's see, we cut it off with the Sawzall is what we ended up using because it worked the best, but it kind of did like a hack job on it. You can see across the front of there. We did it all the way across the front and down the sides. So then I took a belt sounder to it and just kept sanding it until I got it really smooth. Okay, but for the top, I needed wood for it. So we used scraps of wood for everything, but then, let me show you if I can, up here. Okay, so up there, I went to the Restore and you see the white, let's see, ooh, over here. Okay, the white side panel, and then there's one on this side. Those were just pieces that I got at the Restore, just pieces of wood that just made it big enough. And the rest of it's just scraps. Up here, the very top, when we got to this point, I didn't have anything big enough that was 3/4 inches. And I wanted it 3/4 inches because I want to attach trim to it. So, if you look closely, I don't know if you could see that, but it's actually a thin piece with a 1/2 inch of piece of plywood. And then the thin piece is smooth. It's all about using up what you got. So it didn't cost me hardly anything to add all these pieces to it. They were like pretty much every one of the tops that we added to each piece that we had bought was just scraps of wood we had, or we went and bought a few scraps from the Restore or wherever you can dig them up, your friends, neighbors, whatever. So it doesn't cost very much. So this piece over here was really a lot easier. It just had the top section. And it was not glued together, it was just screwed together. So I just unscrewed this from the bottom, this bottom piece, and put on my table saw, cut it down, and it was really quite easy because I could take it apart. Okay, so all of these, we were going to raise them up to the ceiling, but we decided to put like this opening at the top that would be open above them. So this part needed to look like a piece of trim. So we cut them all down. This used to be tall like this and had the crown molding on it, but we cut them all down. And then you can see I made the top flush so that I can have a good flat shelf. Okay, and then on this piece, we built this. So I just had a side panel and a side panel of scrap wood. I used the Craig jig, if you can see up under there, there you go, to attach it to that. And we added this cross piece for support, and here's the bottom. So this is gonna have 2 drawers, and I'll have to trim it out, of course. This top piece right here, it goes here, here, and here. Okay, we added that top, which is fairly simple, but then what I wanna show you is this bottom part didn't exist. But I made it almost completely out of scraps. This we ripped off the front of another bookshelf that we used down here. This is a scrap of MDF. This is a scrap from another thing that we had pulled apart in the garage. So everything. And then I made these drawers. And installed them. And I'm getting ready. The drawer fronts were a piece that I had to buy for something else, and I bought enough so I could do. The drawer fronts were purchased MDF. So I just have to cut out the one for this top drawer, And then I have this beautiful drawer base. And it's pretty much completely made of scraps. Okay, so today I'm doing trim, and I gotta do things like that. I need to fill this gap here. You can see here I'll be trimming all of these out. You can see we added the top. Now here, you can see that we ran right into the soffit. This drops and then we had to have. So this is what we did. We glued like a 1/2 inch board with like a little less than a 1/4 inch board, so that it would go up under there and then the skin would shim the inside. You see that? So once I trim it out, you probably won't be able to see that anymore. But these are just little things you have to deal with. Right here, this was like a space between this cabinet and this cabinet. And I took a piece of scrap wood. I just stuck it in there. You can see it's flush. That's it, right there. So I just took a scrap wood and then I shot some nails in here and on that inside, and so it's really secure. Now I'm going to take my trim piece and nail and glue it right there. No more gap. Okay, this is our demo. We had to fill this gap. There's going to be an outlet in there, so we just kind of made up this little mock demo to see how we liked it. What really clinched it is we set a cushion on top, and that helped us make our decision. So now we're going to go about building this baby. Alright, so here's our solution. We put this top on, and then we put these supports, and then there's a support down at the bottom. The wires come through. Push it back in. Ta-da!
Okay, that's just some of the little details of how we start pulling these built-ins together and making all these mishmash things look like they belong. Thanks for watching. Stick with us and subscribe to see more.